Welcome back to Sosnovka, Sovkhoz, episode 22 with me, Mr. Sealy P. So, after our successes yesterday, finishing off the baling, getting some feed done for the cows, the silage is still fermenting. I'm going to take the mowers over to the sheep farm. A few episodes back, I cleared the field, taking a slightly different route down through the ford, across the field. It's just a little bit quicker than going the roadway and over the bridge. I cleared a load of trees away here and left a big open field, I guess. There's more trees I could clear actually, and I might well do, I don't know. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut the grass across here, and then that will be windrowed, and I can use that to feed the sheep, which I don't own yet. I haven't got any sheep yet, but it will be. That's what it'll be for. At least that's the plan. The next plan in a long line of plans. If you haven't seen previous episodes in this series, go back to the start, have a look through. If you like, give us a like, subscribe if you don't already. There's plenty more videos coming on this gameplay series, and hopefully on the Down on the Farm in Bjornholm and my Westbridge Hills Welcome. I'm trying to speed through this only because cutting grass is quite time consuming. And as I've said before, I really hope for FS17. I know they have the Novacat, Pottinger Novacat mowers, but I was hoping for something a bit bigger, like the Chrome Big M. You do need a lot of grass, you know, for feed and making hay and silage bales. It just takes a long time cutting it, which I suppose it would do in real life. Of course it would, you know. Not everyone can afford to go out and buy a Krone, you know, harvester of any description. So I suppose smaller mowers, of course, they're the option, and it's going to take time. But for the sake of having to sit and watch me just going up and down, and that's this one pretty much done. However, I did already, on the speed up bit, catch a tree stump just over to the left there, and I've now just hit another one. Now I could have sworn when I cleared this field I went round with the stump grinder and I thought I got everything out, but quite clearly I didn't. And it was dark, to be fair. It was one of my late night kind of log-in sessions. I did have the work lights on the skid steer, but obviously I just missed these two. Which is going to prove a problem for future mowing and also windrowing and whatnot. So I'm going to have to get the skid steer over with the stump grinder and just get those two stumps out. But that's this area mowed. I'm probably not going to let it have too gross. I'm probably just going to windrow it as is and then just use the grass. The sheep won't get through a huge amount, depends how many sheep I buy, of course. But I'll lift these mowers up, get them out of the way. I'm not going to go mad with the sheep. And I can always come back and mow it again, it's not the end of the world. Or I could get rid of those trees. I'm going to carry on doing forestry. So I might come back, clear the rest of those, give myself like a bigger kind of meadow, in essence, really. I don't technically own this field, it's just, I haven't bought it. It's just here, so I thought, well, you know what, I'll use it. So over at the lumberyard I've jumped into the skid steer. Now for those of you that haven't seen the stump grinder in action before, maybe have, maybe haven't, you might have watched my logging episode or my wood chipping episode, I don't know. I can't remember how many times I've actually shown it on screen. Normally when I'm doing my logging I turn it off. But anyway, turn the saw on. That front attachment is adjustable in all different sorts of directions. Drop it down as low as you need it, excuse me, until you're onto the stump, and then cut away. Once it reaches a point the stump's gone, it disappears out of the way and will no longer be an issue. But it is adjustable side to side. You can tilt it up and down, side to side, just like so. And obviously you can go up and down, but it can hinge in the middle as well, so you can get all sorts of movements on this for various different stump heights and various different things. Now I know, looking on the FS17 equipment page, whatever you want to call it, it looks like as standard you won't have to download the JCB download, which obviously this comes off the JCB pack. I think this one does, or the rest of JCBs. Anyway, regardless, you get a wheeled JCB skid steer, and there's also a tracked one. Plus there's loads of new tools. I think there's one that goes on the front, which is actually a tree cutter. It clamps onto the tree and then cuts the tree at its base. Various different things. So it'd be interesting to see what equipment you get and how you use it. But I've done a few more stumps over there because I've been doing a lot of cutting over here. But I'm going to stick this on the low loader and quickly whiz on over to where I'm cutting the grass. I could drive over in the skid steer, but its top speed is only about 13 miles an hour, so it would take a while. So it's just quicker. I say it's quicker doing this. By the time I've loaded it up, put the back up, driven it, I probably could have been halfway there by now. Anyway, that's what the low loader's for. We don't want to slow the traffic up, do we? So let's lift the back up. He says. There we go. Get our beacons on because we're going to go on the road. And hopefully there's nothing coming. Nope. Right. And here we are. Right in front of a grass selling point. We don't want to be selling this grass. We need this. So just behind us there is where the sheep will be once I buy them. There is the little concrete pad, little concrete square just in front of there, which is where the wool pallets will appear. I still do need to buy a front loader, tractor with a front loader. I mean, to be fair, I could use one of the telehandlers with pallet forks. But, you know, in the interest of doing things a little bit differently, we'll get a front loader. Now, I have used in the past the T4, New Holland T4, which is only 75 horsepower, quite underpowered. And the New Holland T6, which is, I can't remember now, 160 horsepower, I think it is, which is probably the one that's got the most horsepower. But then realistically, you're lifting stuff. As long as you've got a weight on the back, generally speaking, for pallets, and if you're doing any kind of bale movement or anything like that, you do need a weight on the back of the tractor so they don't tip up. But I'm thinking of using a different one this time. I love the New Holland tractors. I can't, you know, the T6 is a cool looking tractor. I do like it. But I'm thinking of going for one a bit different this time. Yeah. I don't know, we'll see when I come to buy one what I get. They do the small Z-Tour with a front loader. But I've used that one before. I can't remember what map I used that on now. And then there's the Steyr Multis, the sort of forestry one with all the cage and stuff on it, and the standard one. So don't know, might get one of those. We'll see. But anyway, that's the two stumps ground out. This will be going back over to the lumberyard because that's where I'm doing most of my cutting. Probably didn't park at the best of angles. Uphill in a bit of a bump. It was not brilliant. Okay, so that's that bit done. Bacon's on, and that will go back to the lumberyard. Okay. Now, we did put potatoes in the ground. They're not ready to harvest yet, but we have got the money sitting in the bank now from a lot of logging. So now we own the potato harvester. 479,000. It's not cheap. So it's the Grimmer. I don't know. I always go with, I just say Grim. There's no accent over the E, so it's quite a big machine. Not as big as the DLC for the sugar beet harvester, but it's a big unit. I like it. Tektron 415 or 415. Yeah, it's a good bit of kit. I think it's got a capacity of 20,000 litres, I think. It's quite slow, and generally speaking, I think if you're going to do big fields, you might have more than one of these running, I think. We don't actually need it yet, but because the money was there from all the logging I've been doing, and I was doing the logging specifically to buy the odds and ends I need to get, I thought I'll buy it now, otherwise, and I've said before, I'll spend the money on something else and then I won't have enough. But this thing will turn on a sixpence. The wheels turn at the rear, but it sits on the tracks, which are right at the centre of it. So its centre of gravity is balanced right over that centre set of tracks, which means it will pivot right on the middle part of the harvester, which is quite cool. I do like this one as well because you don't have to buy a separate header. The header's built in, it comes with it. I mean, I say that's a good thing. It was still $479,000 to buy. I mean, that's a lot of money, but it will do the job we need it to. So I'll park it up there until we need it. At least we've got it. Okay, what we're going to do now is jump into the New Holland T9. When we were finishing off the baling on the previous episode, I think it was the previous episode, field 23 with the canola in, right next to the yard, is ready to be harvested. Oddly enough, apart from one tiny little strip, I mean, I don't even mean the width of a tractor, one tiny little row, and not a complete one, just a section, hasn't reached the point it's ready to harvest. It's like stuck on the third growth stage. I have no idea why. It's really strange. Bit of a glitch, maybe. So I will harvest, but then if it's left, it will just have to be cultivated in for the next use. But it's a bit peculiar. You can just see it off there, off ahead of us. Yeah, don't know why. Very strange. There you go, on the right. But I will leave this parked up, and we'll get the harvester out, and we'll open it up, and we'll get field 23 done. There we go. Yes, they're right in front of us. Don't know why. Very odd. Anyway, it's a minimal amount. If it was an entire strip, or the width of a harvester, I'd be a bit concerned that we couldn't harvest it. But it is a very small part. So I'm going to stick a strip in across the bottom here. Yeah, I am. No, I'm going to. Yeah. So the harvester's got a big enough turning circle at this end to swing round. I think it'll be right at the other end. I think there's plenty of room. So we'll run once across. I'll adjust the header. I said this before. If you watch my Down the Farm series on Bjorn Holm, in real life, yeah, you would adjust that header height and distance to suit the crop. On this, it makes absolutely no difference whatsoever. It really just it's one of those things that's on there because it's functional and it's what it's supposed to do. But it has no impact on the crop you're doing. It's not going to alter the yield or anything different like that. But it is adjustable if you want to fiddle around with it. Now the other thing I'm going to try and do this time, as I mentioned again in previous episodes, I'm not going to take everything down to the mill and send the train off. I do that because you get the double payment. You get once when you sell it and then once when the train takes it to where it's going to, which does work out more, although for the initial payment you get less per tonne. So when you look at where you can sell all your stuff, you get less per tonne, but then you get the second payment. So I think it works out with both of those payments. When you first sell it and when the train's gone, it works out more per tonne than selling it anywhere else. But for the sake of keeping things interesting and a little bit different, with this crop I'm going to sell it somewhere else, somewhere I haven't sold before. I will check and see where that is, but it won't be down at the mill. Okay, so the auger's swinging out. The pipe we are almost full, getting there. So, jump back in the T9. We'll get around there with the trailer. By the time we get around there, it's going to be almost there. Probably do need to invest in a bigger trailer as well, in all honesty. I started off with this one 40,000 litre capacity, only because it was kind of the largest I could pull with the Lamborghini without the front getting a bit light. Even with the weight on, sometimes the front wheels get a bit light because of the weight over the back. But the T9 will pull this no problem at all, it won't be an issue. Unlike Bjornholm and some parts of Westbridge Hills, there aren't many hills on this map, so you don't also find going downhill, you find the weight of the trailer really pushes against the tractor. You won't get that on this map because it's relatively flat, so I could probably get away with a larger trailer. Saves doing as many trips backwards and forwards to whatever sell point we're going to, so that's another thing I need to think about for the future. So that's one full load, well just over a full load actually, because I followed it down. And off goes the harvester on his merry way. Just wait and have a spot of lunch while the harvester does its thing. Right, it's coming down its second row since I unloaded it, so it can't be far off being full. The auger will probably come out at some point fairly soon. Oh, there you go, beacons just come on. Auger's coming out. Might get myself just underneath it. Should be able to unload. There we go. Okay. Okay, we're doing alright actually. I keep positioning myself about halfway up the field, because as the harvester comes back on its second pass down the field, back towards the yard, you often find that's when it starts to fill up and the auger comes out. So there he goes on his way up the field. Marvellous. And then on the way back down I can swing in next to it again and we'll unload. Hopefully. Although I have had a thought. I'm sure in the store... Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say as well. Productivity for the cows is up at 100%. Which is interesting, because I still haven't given them silage. Anyway, we'll look at the prices here for canola. It says it's down anyway, 976 per tonne at the bakery. It's less at the mill, but then you get the double whammy, and I think it's the same at the grain elevator, 976 per tonne, which isn't great. But yeah. So anyway, what I've done, whizzed back over to the silo, because I'm sure we had about 8,000 litres, which that was in there, so I've put that in here as well. So it won't take as much to fill this up now. So once this is full, we're going to go and unload somewhere I've never unloaded before. So we'll swing it around, go out onto the main road, but this time on the other side, away from the farm, and we're going up to the bakery at the top of the map. I've never been up here before. I mean, I've been up here before, but never actually been to this selling point. I knew the building was here, but I've never had a reason to come up here and sell. Yeah, very odd, but there you go. So it's 976 per tonne. Not a great amount, but it is a little bit different to where I've been going before. So we'll get this up onto the top. So it's not going to be, it's going to be under 40,000 for this load. But shouldn't be a huge amount under, and 40,000 is not a bad amount. So there we go, off we go. $39. That's all right. Typical, because I didn't do a complete unload, it's now thrown it out a little bit, so it's facing the wrong way. So we'll move it back out of the row it's in, and gets unloaded. A little bit speeded up, get this process going a little bit quicker. Okay, looking good. Last row and a half, not even really a full row to be fair, it's not full width, but yeah, row and a half. And that will be field 23 done again. I will probably fertilise and seed this off screen like I did before. You've seen it done once, you've seen it done 100 times. So, down it comes, finishing off. We'll unload as we go. Obviously it's not going to be a full load on this one. $20,000 litres. Not quite 21,000 litres, but it's not bad. So, back up at the bakery. Something I noticed when I was up leaving last time, up on the wall of the bakery, it's an amazing mural. It's weird. I've played on this map before. I've never really noticed it. It's incredible. It's an attention to detail, really good. I'd imagine during the time of communist rule and state-run farms and that kind of thing, it was supposed to be quite rousing, inspiring pictures of people working together for a greater good. A cooperative, that was the word I was looking for, cooperative. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Canola's done, we've bought the potato harvester. If you like the episode, give us a like. If you don't subscribe already, hit subscribe. Leave a comment if you want to. As always, whatever you choose to do, fantastic mural, do like that. Thank you for watching.